You're tuned into Recovery TV, the voice of hope, with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Discussions and information on addiction and mental health issues. Here's your host, John J. Tassoni Jr., with today's guest.
Welcome to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Narcan, please get it. You can get it at CVS, URI. It saves lives. Please get it. Today, my guest, Derek Durian, is from Hope Recovery. Welcome, Derek, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, John.
Tell me about Hope Recovery first, and then I want to get into you.
All right. Well, Hope Recovery Support is we have 6 houses. We're a transitional recovery housing program for recovering addicts and alcoholics that are coming out of detox, treatment, or prison, or from the street. We provide safe, affordable recovery housing.
No, recovery housing is a big thing now.
Yep.
Obviously, you know, with 6 houses. How does someone get involved, or someone who may need to go into a recovery house? How do they do that, Derek?
Well, the first thing they do, they obviously go to detox or treatment.
Right.
There's a grant going on right now with 942 Stop.
Mm-hmm.
So they should go to detox treatment first, then make a call to 942 Stop to get on the list to go to recovery housing.
Mm-hmm. How is the list long? Is it?
I think it is long because I know you have to be on it for at least 30 days before you can be put into a house.
Right.
So, and you have to have 30 days clean and sober too.
Oh, in order to get into.
In order to get into the grant house, yes.
Okay. All right. How many rooms do you have?
Right now, we currently have 85 beds.
85 beds.
Yep.
Is it difficult to operate?
No, because we love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I wake up every morning. There's not a day that goes by that I wake up and say, geez, I got to go to work. I love doing it.
Why?
Because I'm also in recovery. I've been in recovery for 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I love going there every day, talking to the guys, hanging out with the guys.
Is it all male?
All male.
All male.
Yeah.
So tell me about your venture. How did you get from here to today?
My background?
Yeah.
So, I grew up in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how I haven't lived in Woonsocket in a long time, but I grew up in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and I was probably the least likely to become an addict or an alcoholic, but I did. I just had that addiction in me. I believe it's a disease. I don't believe it's anything to do with willpower or anything. It's a disease. And it took me a little over a decade to get clean.
Really?
Yeah, I tried to escape addiction by going in the military. Unfortunately, I ended up in prison. And when I got out, when I was in prison, I said I was never going to use drugs again. And within 24 hours, I was using drugs again, getting out of prison. And it took me a while, about 4 years after prison, to get clean. And I went to like 54 detoxes, 20 treatments, 20 recovery houses. That's why it was so easy to do recovery houses. I had been in 20 of them. Right. When I did the rules and regulations of the recovery houses, it took me literally a half an hour. It was basically all the rules that I broke. You know, but I was at a crossroads in life. I was doing mortgages. I did very well in mortgages after I got clean. I went to a treatment center down in Exeter. It doesn't exist anymore, Marathon House. I want to just back up for a minute. And I remember at 90 Days Clean when I was in Marathon House, the last time I actually went to a treatment center, I was ready to leave at 90 Days Clean, and I was determined to get high. And the director, thank God, she sent me to the chair. There was a thing called the chair at Marathon House, and made you go sit out in the chair. And she left me there for 5 hours. And in the meantime of me sitting there, some guy was trying to come back in, and he had looked like he was a mess. He was a mess. Straggly, he looked jaundiced, his clothes were falling off him, and he was begging to come back in there. And at one point I said, can you please be quiet? I said, I just want to get my stuff. And he goes, how you doing, Derek? And I go, who are you? And he goes, I was your roommate your first 30 days here. And I don't know, spiritual awakening, God intervened. I looked at him and I said, oh my God, that's going to be me if I leave. And I haven't thought about getting high since that moment, not once. Not one time I've even had a passing thought, and I have 25 years clean now, you know, and it was all due to Narcotics Anonymous, to be honest with you.
You know, it's kind of ironic that you mentioned Marathon House, because when I was a president of union, that was my first trip with one of my members to Marathon House, and to help that individual. And I always wanted to help people, and that's where I am today. But it's ironic that you would say something like that on on the show today, because that's basically where I got my drive to do what I'm doing today.
Yeah, I avoided that place like the plague because it wasn't a traditional treatment center. It was a therapeutic community.
Right.
Like I watched the same wall for 8 hours a day, and was getting yelled at like from a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was to teach you responsibility and discipline, and it worked for me. And but they did tell me. They told me when I was there, please, when you leave, make sure you go to a meeting every day. And that was my thing. I always left treatment centers, and I wanted to take a break.
Yeah.
And there's no breaks in recovery.
Right.
I didn't miss a meeting for 7 years. Not one day for 7 years that I missed a
Right,
meeting.
and I don't think people realize that. You gotta keep on it, gotta keep on it, gotta keep on it, because once you fall from that, there's always a way that you may want to stray away.
100%. I stress meetings to the guys in the houses all the time.
Yeah.
And I when I go there too, and I see them just hanging around, and I go, why don't you go to a meeting? I say, because you're going to need, this isn't somewhere where you're going to live for the rest of your life.
Right,
this is
right,
somewhere where you need to
This
get
is
the foundation of
stop.
recovery
Right.
to be able to transition onto the next stage of your life, whether it's back with your family or it's on your own or wherever it may be.
And what kind of reception do you get when you talk to these guys? Is it a good reception? Do they sit down? Do they listen to you?
Some
Or-
do.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
And you can only lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, John.
Right.
And I don't get upset or disrespected by it because I was the same way.
Right.
People would talk to me and it'd be on deaf ears.
Yeah. What about your family, Derek?
I'm an only child.
Yeah.
Mom and dad didn't drink, didn't do drugs. I mean, my father could buy a case of beer on New Year's, and next New Year's there'd be 23 left in the case. I just was the black sheep in my family. I just had that addiction in me.
Right. I mean, you have good family.
Great family, great family. My father passed away a little over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And thank God I got clean when I did, because one of his last words was to my mother in the hospital when he was dying of cancer was, I can go now because I know he's going to be okay. He was so proud of me, that I had gotten clean. But my mother's still alive, and I talk to her 5 times a day. She's my best friend besides my daughter.
Right. You talk about your dad. My dad did the same thing. How proud he was of me doing what I do, and being an elected official, and that sticks with you. That never goes away.
No.
Never goes away.
I go to the cemetery every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you give me a day at the recovery house. I mean, I know it. My viewers probably don't know it.
For me or for the residents?
Well,
both.
for the resident, for both.
For both, okay.
You're the boss. So tell me what you do when you go.
I wake up every morning, I get ready to go to work, and I go by all the houses. I go in the houses, see how everybody is. I check in with the house manager to make sure everything's okay at the house. And for the most part, guys aren't even in the house during the day. They're working. They're productive members of society.
Yeah.
For the most part, most of them are. Except for if somebody's on SSI or they're retired, which I do have a lot of older gentlemen. They are on SSI or they're retired, or some work second shift or third shift. But the houses never look full. It's amazing that, when people ask me how many people are in the house and I say 12, and they're like, oh my God, 12 people. It's never full. Just maybe when they go to bed. Because a lot of the guys in the house right away, they go get a job, they become productive, and we stress that. We stress that a lot. When we get in the house, don't stay dormant. Staying dormant is not a good thing.
Yeah, I want to talk more about this when we come back. We're going to take a break, but I want to talk about the guys going to work. Because a lot of people just think that when people are in recovery and in a recovery house, that's all they do is they hang around all day long. I want to talk more about that when we come back.
Okay.
You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. Derek Derian is in the house, is Hope Recovery Support. And Derek, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
I thank God that you're doing well.
My pleasure.
So I want to talk a little bit about, because you get a lot of questions, when you're out in the field about people working. You just indicated in the first half of the show that a lot of your people that come to recovery houses, they do go out and get a job. They just don't sit home.
Correct.
Now do you guys...
Some do.
Yeah,
Some do.
some do, and some it could be for different
Yep.
amount of reasons. But do you actually help these folks get jobs, or how does that work?
I don't bring them to get, to do the job interviews,
Yeah,
but we have computers in all the houses.
Yeah.
So most job applications nowadays are done online,
Right.
and they call you in. So we made sure that we had computers in the facility so that people could fill out applications and printers. And but I'll tell you, for the most part, most people want to work when they get there.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that are at the house aren't first time trying to get in recovery, so they know like. They want to get down there with their lives, a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And they want to start working. I have that question asked a lot when the people are in treatment. Hey, when can I start looking for a job? I go, from the minute you get into the house. I don't put people on a restriction to go work. From day one, you can go work, because I believe that you need to be a productive member of society. Staying clean is probably 10% of recovery. There's so much more to recovery, and working and being responsible is one of them.
What about transportation? Do you provide transportation, or do they?
No, I do provide transportation upon coming into the place. And I've had remarks from a lot of treatment centers that you're the only one that comes pick people up. And I do. I go pick them up. I don't want them to go to Kennedy Plaza, not because I think that they're that vulnerable, they're going to get high. But why even take that shot to go down there and see zombies down in Kennedy Plaza?
Right,
I go pick them up at the treatment centers, take them to the houses. A lot of times, the treatment centers now, a lot of them will actually transport them themselves.
Right.
So. But I don't provide transportation other than that. But all of the houses that we have, specifically, when we did it, we made sure we're on bus lines.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's another thing. Bus lines. I don't know if you saw the paper today. They're going to make more cuts. So
Wow.
I don't know. That's another thing. They don't understand that people need buses in order to get to work, especially with the people that.
It's essential.
Yeah. Exactly. So what about education in your houses? You provide meetings, you provide education if the people need education, like to get their GED or anything like that?
No, but I do have, we don't provide it in the house.
Right.
There's a lot of recovery centers. A lot of the guys at my house, right away when we get there, we give them a referral to a recovery center, because the recovery centers are unbelievable now.
Yeah.
5 years ago, they were kind of struggling. Now, they do a lot of help for people. Like, I have a guy right now, I have a few guys that have been in college, but I have a guy right now in one of my houses that just received the Pell Grant 6 months ago. And he is a full-time student and working full-time. And he's in a recovery house and goes to meetings every night. You know?
Now do folks in the house look up to a guy like that? You know, I mean, I don't know. I've never lived in a recovery house, but I've been to them. But I'm not sure. Do they look up to a guy
I'm
like
sure
that?
they do. I'm
Yeah.
sure they do. I don't really know the answer. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But when a new guy comes in, a lot of times the guy in the house will have it, like a lot of the guys in the house, they work construction or they work, and they help out a guy that's in the house. Say, hey, listen, there's an opening at my company, come work. It's not often that it's not hard to find jobs right now. And I stress this.
Right.
I tell people when they come in, I say, I anticipate what they're going to say sometimes, because I know sometimes people are lazy and they don't want it. They want to take a break. They've just been in treatment for 90 days, but there is no breaks in recovery. That's how I feel. So I've been looking for a job. Where have you been looking? I said, I haven't looked for a job in 25 years, but I'm willing to bet I could probably get 4 jobs in one day. It's all about how much you want it. If you try to get a job as hard as you did to try to get high or drink, and that's how my whole life has been. I worked real hard to get high. So I work real hard to be successful or work. I just do. And most of the guys in the house work. There are some that don't, and I can't make them get a job,
Right.
But they know that they have to
Well,
pay.
if they don't work, how do they stay in a facility like that? Because obviously they have to pay something.
with the grant going on, if they come into the house and they're on the year grant, the first 3 months they live for free, and then the next 3 months they have to pay $5 a day, which is $35 a day, and then the final 6 months is $10 a day, which is $70 a week. So, if somebody's not working, maybe a family member or something will help them. You know.
Right. What about when you come into the house? Give me a day where a client comes into the house. And obviously you said they go to work, but what happens when they come home from work? What is their schedule? Meetings, supper?
I'm not at the house 24/7. I have
Right.
house managers that live there.
Right.
All of them have at least 3 years clean.
Yeah.
We've been very lucky with house managers. We've had the same house managers now for, I think, for the last 2 years in each of the houses.
Wow.
And that's a rarity.
Right.
Guys go to work, they come home, they take a shower, they eat, they go to a meeting, or they go to their girls, or wherever they may go. I don't know how many meetings each of them is going.
Right.
It used to be mandatory that they had to go. We used to have it mandatory. They go to at least 4 meetings a week. I always suggest 7. I suggest 7 because I did 7. I still do 3 or 4, at least 3 meetings a week, and I'm 25 years clean. Some weeks I might miss, but for the most part I do. I can't make it mandatory anymore.
Right.
I can suggest it because there are alternative forms of recovery. And but they usually go to work, come home, eat, go to bed, or go to a meeting, or go wherever they're going to go.
What about people who have families? Are they? Is it okay for them to leave the house?
Oh yeah,
to go visit the
there
family?
are no restrictions when they get
Okay.
to the. I know some recovery houses have restrictions. You can't leave for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question.
You can leave from day 1. You have to be in for curfew at night.
What happens if you get caught
What do you mean?
with substance in your facility?
You're immediately discharged.
Yeah.
Yep.
Both
Yep.
alcohol and
Yep.
drugs.
And I will. I'm not just going to say, hey, you got to leave, pack your stuff, and go walking down the street. I mean, I will suggest I'll take you to BH Link or the house manager. My house managers, they all drive. They take people to BH Link.
Right.
Or to a detox. I can suggest it. If they say no, I'm just out of here. Well, then there's nothing really I can do.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, we're going to take another break because I want to talk a little bit more about this
Okay.
when we come back.
Okay.
You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Derek Therian is in the house, and he's with the Hope Recovery Support. Welcome, Derek, again, and thank you for joining us today. Great story. I love it. More people should get involved in recovery houses. There's a need for it.
Oh,
And-
definite need.
And my understanding is that there's grants going on right now
Yes.
through BHDDH and
Yes.
through RICARES.
Yes, if anybody's interested in opening up recovery houses that don't have existing houses, I would suggest that they contact RICARES or BHDDH.
Yeah.
There is an RFP going on for
Yeah.
new houses going up on until August 19th. But there's definite need. There's a
Yeah.
list every day.
Yeah.
So
You know, Derek, I have to tell you, I have to thank you for what you do because there's so many folks that are in need of a roof over their head after they complete their treatment. Some can and some cannot go back home because of whatever
correct.
things that happened during their
Yep. I
addiction
couldn't.
process. You know, but guys like you that put your all into something like this and give people a roof over their head to start their lives again, as you indicated before, you can't save everybody, but you know what? You put your best foot forward. You do the best you can to save lives. I do the same thing because at night I can put my head on the pillow. You know, like you. You know, we're helping people get their lives back together and to become productive citizens again, and not to go the way of a funeral home or
Correct.
living outside your house or living on the street.
There's no greater joy.
Right.
The reward for doing this, seeing somebody come in broken down
Yep.
and repair their life and move on clean and be a productive member of society. It doesn't happen often, unfortunately, John. The statistics aren't
Doesn't
good.
happen enough.
They're not good. The statistics are not good.
Right.
But there's no greater joy than seeing that.
Right.
You know, and then you run into them or you hear from them all the time. We have a couple of residents that we go to lunch with a lot. They always want to keep in contact with us. We go out with them, you know, and that's the reward for this.
Thank you again. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, John.
My guest next week is Steve Migliaccio, and he's also in recovery. So listen, if you see something, say something. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, John.